All right, hello everyone. Welcome to another weekly Blitz contributor call. So um, we'll start here, try something new, and I'll start and just give an update about what I was, like any updates from me from the past week of what I was working on. And then we can go around and anyone can share like what they were working on, if they have something to work on. Like if not, it's fine, just say pass, whatever. There's no pressure there. And it can be like non-material things too. So like maybe you just spend some time looking at the Blitz code base or like playing with a Blitz app or anything like Blitz related can be interesting to share if you want to. So the not a whole lot to report from my side. Did have the live stream with Kitsa that went very well, very well. He's like super excited about Blitz, and I'm gonna do another live stream with him in about a month or two, like once we get authentication in, and then we can like actually build something for real. So that'll be pretty sweet. Um, and then yeah, like 12 hours ago or something, we had a code base walkthrough um, for like new contributors. People want to get new to the code base, so that's posted in the Slack. That went really well. It's on YouTube now, so you can watch it. And other than that, I spent a long day on my Saturday um, getting the website kind of unblocked. So I took the so we're using Docusaurus, and we were using the default theme that it ships with it. And so I took all of that theme code and dumped it straight into our repo so that then we have like full control over the theme, like everything end to end. And so then I kind of reorganized that, cleaned it up, started customizing it, and then installed theme UI into it. And so now it's all like ready to go. So there's still a few components that are using the old like CSS framework thing that needs converted to theme UI, but we're pretty good to go. And I also added a bunch of new content to the homepage, which is partly mostly from like the design that's in progress. So I think you can see the preview if you go to blitzjs.now.sh. You can see what it looks like now. And we can talk about it like with Robert, but we're pretty close to being able to like go ahead and publish what we have now as like an alpha version so we can get documentation live. So I think that's basically all I have to share. Like been working on other like PR reviews and all that type of stuff. So Adam,
Yeah, I can go.
there you go.
So two big things this week. One is the PR that went up for Prisma model generation. So we now have the ability to at the command line take in a series of just like field definitions, and so the description of kind of the format that we use is in the PR, but it's pretty much what you had suggested in the issue, Brandon, of just field name type any attributes that you want applied, and then it also supports relations out of the box. So right now we support has one, has many, and belongs to. But then as we continue to build this out, we can add some of like the more complex Rails-like associations, like belongs to through and things like that, because Prisma already has support for custom mapping tables out of the box, and so it's really just a matter of like writing extra lines into the model file or into the schema file. So that's pretty cool and exciting, and that kind of unlocks the or gets us a bunch of the infrastructure for generating pages based on the models. Half of it was like building out the actual data objects to like hold model and field data, but once we have that, we can just parse the schema into that and then use that to actually generate the React components. So that's exciting. That should hopefully be working. Like the first half of that is already working in NPR, and the second half, hopefully end of next week, we should have something pretty workable there, which is exciting.
Cool.
And then the only other thing is working on installer stuff. So trying to get the installer kind of up to the same place that Gatsby recipes are from an architectural perspective, so that when we start working with John and Kyle to pull out that core like MDX step executor logic, that our code is pretty close to being able to just kind of be drop in. So the first step of that is move everything to they have an internal framework that I'm modeling ours after, which is like propose, apply, revert, which is like you propose a diff, you give the user a chance to accept it, and then you revert it if it doesn't, if they reject it. And so I assume the final like React-based renderer that we're using is going to have a similar API. So right now it's converting everything to that kind of a framework and using React Inc to render it, so that we have these all as React components already. So I'm
Cool.
most of the way done. So I'm most of the way done with that, and that'll be up for BR soon as well.
Okay. Robert, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. I used my phone as a webcam and it just freaked out. So I'll fix it.
Okay. Well, Simon, do you want to go if you have anything to share, and then while Robert gets his webcam sorted out?
Yeah, so currently working on the illustrations for the website. That's where I'm focused on. The current point where we are is we just I just showed some concept art on the Figma, and I think Christina liked it, so so she asked me to go ahead with doing it entirely and just see how it looks. So I'm going to be working on that, creating and just making art for the next week or so.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sounds fun.
That's all from my end.
Okay. Robert?
So I had a busy work week this week, but I mainly, I guess, kind of did some similar stuff to you, Brandon, in that I was just researching like Docusaurus v2 and whatnot. So I went through every page in their docs, which I mean isn't a ton. They don't have a huge set of docs. My only concern with pulling out the like all the components and whatnot from the Docusaurus default theme is when they update Docusaurus. You know, how do we keep our components up to date with that? But we can cross that bridge later. And then, so the other thing, after you did all that work, I just cleaned out a bunch of issues. So I think we're down to like 10 or 11 right now. And most of it's just, you know, making sure the theme's like updated, everything's moved over to theme UI. And I think that's it. I think we have all the like base components we need for now before the design. So.
Yeah. Cool.
And I guess one question: I'm assuming you hooked up the MailChimp form?
No, I have not actually. That's something
Okay.
I still need to do.
Cool. That's it for me.
Okay. All right, that's great. So might as well just talk a bit more about the website. So to answer your question about the also just a reminder to help take meeting notes if you can. So your question about updating when Docusaurus updates things. So if they update theme components in their default theme, then good for them. Like it doesn't matter. We don't care about it basically, unless they add some new component that's like has this that we really want, like has some good features or something. Then well, we can just go into the code base and just copy that, just like everything else. But I think that's probably will be rare. As far as like the Docusaurus like API changing or something like that, I don't think that'll be too much of an issue. I mean, it's still an alpha, so anything could change. But the components, all the theme components, there's the very, very little reliance I guess there's only a couple components that like rely heavily on the Docusaurus API, which is mainly the doc page and the blog page, which like takes in all the markdown stuff and like, but even then it's still not that much. So I think it'll be fine.
Cool. Yeah. I guess my main concern was just like with anything to do with the sidebar, but I haven't had time to delve into all their components and what you pulled out. I mean, I skimmed
So I
all
think
your
we have,
commits, but
I think we own all of that.
okay.
Which that's a good point. I think we should change the sidebar to be more like Tailwind UI docs. So Tailwind sidebar is like there's nothing collapsible. It's all there just under nice headings and so forth. Where currently in our Docusaurus, like everything is nested. You have to click on a thing to open it and see it. And I think like it's annoying to me, just like I can't see what all docs we have. You have to click on this one, expand it, and then this one expand it, and maybe expand a couple levels. I think it's better to just put it all there, and then you can scroll quickly, see what's there. Command F would work, etc. What do you think?
Cool. Yeah, I haven't looked at their docs in a while, but I'll definitely have to check it out. I mean, that sounds
I
good.
don't think they'll have any docs for that because it's just a code in our components.
Well, you're talking about like their sidebar on their documentation site, right?
Right, and so like what we have right now on the Blitz website, it's the same thing, right? Where you
I have to look.
let me pull it up here. I can screen share.
I see what you're saying. Where it's like there's nothing. There's like no trees. Like it's all shown, right? There's no like subcategories and stuff like that.
Yeah. So our site has all of this like expanding things. So you can't see everything without expanding everything. Whereas if you go to Tailwind, oh, I think I misunderstood what you were talking about looking at docs. I thought you were talking about Docusaurus. Yeah. So, and then Tailwind here on the left, they just have like this really long menu, and I like this pretty good because it's easy to just skim down through and at least get a sense of everything that's
Cool.
there, and it's pretty easy to find. So maybe we can open an issue to discuss it. I don't know if anyone else has thoughts on it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see any reason why we couldn't like have our own custom sidebar, you know. So
Yeah.
if we need to.
Okay.
Cool.
So then like to go to publish live what we have now. I think basically it's all there except for like the newsletter sign up form not working, and the dark theme is like really bad. I kind of messed it up. So we could fix that, or we could just disable the dark mode for right now until we get that fixed. But I think like I would love to get it live this week sometime. I'll probably should be able to have time to like do the MailChimp thing and maybe like clean up some styles or something, and then just get that live.
The theme switcher is broken too. It doesn't shift. It changes the color, but it doesn't move.
It moves for me.
Weird.
One thing you might need to do is clean out your
Cache.
the cache for that, because there's two. Because we're using the theme UI theme switcher versus the Docusaurus theme switcher. Because I did have some weird behavior after that, and then clearing the cache.
I'm seeing the same actually. My theme switcher is also not working.
Okay,
Yeah,
maybe I need to clear my
and
cache.
everything. Still see.
Well, let me try. I also use Firefox today. Let me see what it does in
I'm on
Chrome.
Chrome.
I'm on Chrome.
Yeah, it works fine in Chrome. It looks to be a browser thing of some kind.
Okay, well let's open an issue.
Yeah, I'll open an issue for that.
Okay. But yeah, I'm really happy with Theme UI and how it's working. Like it's so easy to theme everything. It's really nice.
Yeah, I looked at your PR. It seems like a really nice library to work with.
Yeah. I love being able to style so much just from the theme file. Like we can style all the markdown just from the theme file. Okay. Anything else, Robert, on that? Christina's still working on the design.
Mhm.
So
Have you
still
checked in
waiting
on
on
it
that.
recently? Have you looked at the funnel?
Yeah, like on Saturday I was in there.
Okay, yeah, she hasn't. We've kind of been taking the weekend off, so
Yeah.
I don't think she has anything. I mean, maybe Saturday night did some stuff, but yeah, I mean, it's moving along. I think
Yep.
she should be done soonish,
Yep.
and it'll be fun to build out. Thanks for updating those docs too, by the way, Adam.
Oh, yeah, it was.
Those
I
were
was
cool.
taking a look through those, and they were a little sparse. So I tried to fill them out with everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was good.
There's still more to do, but we'll do it piece by piece.
Yeah.
Yep. And once we get the once we get it live, then it'll be more like I think it'll be easier or more motivation to like actually write something because then people can use it.
Right. Yeah.
I guess one other website thing I just thought of is I think I haven't seen the file in a while, but I think Christina might still have like some live code blocks in there.
Yeah.
So we might want to talk about what we want to have in those to show.
Yeah.
Blitz
So
and
there's just two things. One is a live code sandbox, which can be just like a brand new Blitz app. I think that's fairly simple. And then also she has a header component. Let me just share my screen. And I'm still not, I haven't thought, I haven't spent much time thinking about it, but I'm not sure what to put there. Okay. Yeah, it looks like she was doing some things since I was last in here. Let's see. So here's like, it has the columns is why it looks a little bit goofy in here, but this is like what we have kind of working so far. And there's this, she has this like code graphic on the right side. So it could be like, I don't know. So it could be one thing static. It could animate. It could switch between multiple things. Like what I'm thinking is kind of like just the end-to-end code for like having a query and a component to get that query. Like it's pretty simple. I don't know. It doesn't have to be like necessarily super informative, but like just kind of give people an idea of what a Blitz code feels like.
what if you had like I'm not super versed in Blitz, but what if there was like a little like above or below the code block, like if it said like your front end component and then like maybe the model, and it was like 3 different examples of code that you could kind of just switch between to kind of make that point. That might be cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be.
So
Yeah, Simon.
So just regarding that, I was thinking that maybe we could have a comparison, like here's how we do migrations in Rails and here's how we do migrations in Blitz. And we go through different of components, different sections, and compare how different languages stack up to the same components in Blitz.
And comparing from Blitz to what else?
Like Rails or I don't know what else, other applications that are like frameworks which are similar to Blitz.
Robert fell on the floor.
Look, I have this like little piece of wood that holds my phone.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think that's a good idea. I'm not sure if we have enough like room or if it might be confusing to like be showing other people's code there too. Like at the header, like maybe on another, either on another page or something where
maybe
we can have
another
like
page, yeah.
side by side.
I actually was working on a small illustration, that type of thing. I'll show it to you later on in Slack.
Okay.
I'll post later. All right.
Okay.
But yeah, a comparative structure page would be very useful for people who are coming in from other languages. Like for me, if I could see how you do things that are done in Rails that you can do in Blitz, that would be very helpful for me.
Yeah. That's a good idea. Yeah. We could do that for sure. Okay. On authentication, Rashab is still plugging away on the like pseudocode for the Blitz authentication library, and it is, or the session management library. It's open as a PR on the drafts repo. So there's not too much there except he's just working. And it's kind of like, actually is sort of code, but it's just not like compiling and working. So that'll be fun once that gets done and somebody can like plunk away and just make it all work. And probably this week, I'm hoping to get that HTTP middleware built. I feel like I'm saying that every week, or at least in my head I am. But I think this is a week.
This is it. Is there anything there that can be tag teamed, given that I'm mostly working on kind of like extra stuff, but don't have anything else that's like time critical at the moment?
I think it's going to be pretty simple.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I didn't know if there's a volume. I haven't looked at the RFC too much in the last week or two,
Yeah,
so I didn't know if there was anything there that was worth me jumping in to help out on.
It's probably only like a couple hours of work or something.
All right. So. Yeah, that's fine.
Unless you just want to do it, like that's fine too.
No, go for it.
Yeah. Anything else to talk about on the CLI? Questions or issues? I don't think I have anything else.
I think things have quieted down. I think we caught all of the bugs that came up recently in the last couple of releases, and so I think it's now just like plugging away at the next round of features we want out. So the model generation and all the like bits associated with that. I'm starting to get thinking about plugins a little bit and how we want to approach that, but I don't have anything really concrete enough to formalize into like an RFC yet. But it's probably we're starting that discussion at some point soon. Once the recipe stuff is farther along, we'll probably that's a good time to start thinking about plugin architecture as well, so we can have an answer for people who are like, well, what like this database thing that like isn't really an installer, but like we if we have a story for them, then that'll be probably pretty useful at that point.
Yeah, I agree. on like as some basically anytime we could post an RFC on plugins, like once we kind of can figure out like what's, have an idea of what we need. And
yeah, I mean, it's like we'll have to figure out exactly what it looks like. I think it's largely just going to be like, we have this TypeScript interface that some index.js or index.ts file has to conform to, but I think we have to like probably put a little more thought into it than just like, we're going to have a bunch of hooks and you can do whatever you want. We'll probably need something a little more structured.
Yeah, maybe we need to use Redux or something.
The Gatsby guys seem to really like XState. Maybe we can start pulling that in.
Oh yeah. XState is just nice. Okay. I don't have anything else to talk about. Anything else from you guys? Okay. Let's see, it's Tuesday. I always forget what day of the week it is.
It all blends together right now.
Yeah. Okay, well, nice to catch up with you all, and have a good rest of your week.
Yeah,
Okay.
cool. You too.
You too. Thanks.
See you, everyone.
Bye.